question.
Yes. So, Eddy, hello.
Hello, Veronica. Nice to see you again.
Yes, nice to see you. Thank you for coming.
Pleasure.
So, today we wanted to discuss about your latest article that you've published on your blog, which is called Falling in Love.
Yes. Delicate subject, huh?
Yes, very, but it's also a very interesting subject
Yeah,
that,
I
of course,
agree.
a lot of people want to know about. So, first of all, let's discuss the definition of falling in love. What is for you falling in love?
Well, everyone knows, of course, what kind of feeling it gives, so that I don't have to teach.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to say is that sometimes we don't realize that it's a lot of projections. So falling in love can be because of some interest.
Because of our needs.
Because of needs, because you make an image of that will make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just an idea of what can make me happy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you bring that, in other ways, you project it to the other person,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not always nice because it's not so reliable. See what I mean? So if the image changes, then the love, that is not really love because it's a projection, the love changes also.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people can come together for a while with these projections towards each other,
Mm-hmm.
and then it changes, and then they have to separate. So it's much more reliable if you can realize about your image, realize about your projection, relativate it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not the purpose to condemn it. It's just to see, okay, I'm like this, I know that is my weakness,
Mm-hmm.
and not to believe it too much, so you can relativate it, and then it could work much better. See?
Mm-hmm.
You can build on it, you can learn from each other and build on it.
Okay, so we don't really fall in love with the real person or the person itself, but we fall in love with the image that we create in our head.
Yes, you can even say that you fall in love with yourself, huh?
Yeah,
With
okay.
your own interest.
Our own interests and the needs and what we
Yes.
imagine
Yes.
ourselves.
It doesn't mean that when you fall in love, it cannot evolve to love.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Okay.
but you really have to work on it to realize, okay, this is a little bit of projection and it's not nice for the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can work on it to evolve to real true love that is containing much more freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So in your article, you also say that the fact falling in love is also suffering, because you have expectations, and when you have expectations, you do suffer.
And you make the other suffer.
Yeah.
Because the other is obliged, because he wants to keep you, he's
Mhm.
obliged to
Deliver on your expectations.
yes, to deliver this. And so he's under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
See, so if he's under pressure, it's also not, he doesn't feel being loved really.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the problem is, if our expectations are not met, then we are disappointed and we are again
It's
suffering.
so fragile. It's so fragile.
Yeah, this type of love is.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the real unconditional love. What
Yeah.
does that
What
mean?
is this? Huh?
Yeah.
So anyway, you understood. It's about not using these projections.
Mm-hmm.
But as we are all human beings, well, we have these projections, and so, like I said, to realize that it's coming up, seeing it and telling to yourself, okay, this is not fair. It's not fair for the other, so I will not do it. And if you do it, well, that's the work you have to do in couples, that to say, okay, I'm sorry, I did this, and the other probably will say, and me also, I did this, and let go of it. Letting go, it means that you don't give it really a lot of value. So because ego is there,
Mhm.
conditionings are there,
Mm-hmm.
but if you can forgive each other for it, and then, of course, very important, come to a logic way of living together,
Mm-hmm.
spontaneous and logic,
Mm-hmm.
then that is close to real love.
Mm-hmm. So basically, real love is not wanting to change someone, right?
No, of course not, because wanting to change is to change to your image.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
again expectations.
It's expectations, yes.
Yes.
And so you will put pressure on. And so when two people are really made for each other,
Mm-hmm.
Without these projections, it will be very fast clear that there is no tension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if there is a projection, then both of the people in the couple will realize that it's not so damaging. So you can talk about it. That's why open mind is so important. That you open your mind to work on the relationship, because every relationship needs really a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so that also is love. It's to say, okay, I'm who I am, and I want to get rid of all these damaging ego sides.
Yes. I also heard that unconditional love also means that you are ready to let the person go at any time. You have to be ready to make sure that they are happy. If they are happy without you, you have to accept it. And it's a very difficult and tricky concept for most of the people who are quite jealous, possessive. We are always scared to lose the loved one.
Yes, so that's why it's important to also consider that we are human beings, and that we cannot totally do without ego and without jealousy. It's a kind of part of the game. But again, finding the right balance, like admitting, for example, you looked to another man, it's hurting. Okay, so the answer is, okay, we're human. Okay, so is it valuable for you? No, I just looked, I am not interested, I just feel totally good with you. I'm not searching for something else, and to talk about it. Also, that is part of loving in freedom, because you're free to express.
Yes.
Without being condemned for your human beingness.
Yes, and then you need to also handle the insecurities of your partner, because that's how the insecurities arise.
Yes, and with a partner, it's always a kind of insecure, because it's exactly what you said. There is a kind of fear to lose the other. And so if you put in really in the extreme, there could be such a freedom that, like you said, you're even not afraid to lose the other one. But let's say that is more a theoretical thing, and maybe it's not realistic even to think like that. It's like an image, or it's not really an image, but like an ideal that maybe never can exist. And so you see the balance between the ideal and the reality, and to join both together, that is in fact love. Allowing it to be there, not condemning, and at the same time knowing what is the ideal independency of and knowing who you really are. So you can always rely on knowing who you really are.
I also heard a lot that before you love someone else, you have to love yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Why? Because if you love yourself, you discover who you really are.
Yes.
You cannot love your ego, in fact. The tensions in duality will make that you always will have a part of you that is not in accordance to your soul. And so that's what they mean. If you love yourself, you know that you have an ego, but you don't value it. You value something much deeper, and that's like a soul existence, like a peace existence. And you can fall in love with this part of you. And if you see this in you, you see it also in the other. It's a very important thing to say, that you can love the other one only if you love yourself. Because you recognize in the other the love that you have in yourself.
What about wholeness? Like, I'm whole as a person, but of course there are some needs that I have that I don't cover myself, and that's why then I go to search for a partner who would satisfy this need.
In that case, you could see it as a process,
Yeah.
like a mirroring from the other to yourself. And usually that's why people come together, to learn about what can I learn from the other. And well, out of experience, huh?
Yeah.
Because you had some experiences also. And everyone has.
Yeah, and every relationship is a lesson. Huh?
Is a lesson, yes.
That's where we learn the most about ourselves. Yeah, that's clear.
Yeah.
You have to be grateful for every relationship.
Yes, for every relationship, and never be angry at someone else, sometimes it just has a period and then it finishes,
Yeah.
and then something new comes, and that's part of the process. And if the process is well done with some people that you have to leave, then in the end you find the right person, and without much projections, and then it's real love and really deep love, and it's like obvious to be together.
Yes, then I have another question out of this, is that sometimes in a couple one partner evolves faster than the other and he's at another level, and sometimes the other partner cannot really catch up,
Yes.
and they have to separate, and what do you think about
It's the same as with every person in life. Some people stick on to their image, want to be important, or want to become even more important, and other people want to relativate their ego and want to find something deeper. And when the evolution is not the same, it's nearly unavoidable to separate. So I think that it's important for two people that want to be as a couple, that the maturity is about the same. Doesn't need to be exactly the same, but that there is a maturity on the same level that can correspond.
But it's still normal that you go out of the relationship if your partner, if you cannot find a balance anymore and you
Yes.
evolve more than the other, it's a normal.
It's impossible to stay then,
Yeah.
as I feel it,
Yes.
because you don't have to force also to stay with someone, huh? It's not your obligation. It's not something you should do out of
Pity.
yeah, out of pity.
Yeah.
Yes. You're not
Yeah.
responsible for the evolution of another person,
Yes.
and it's not to say that he's bad for that, but it's a choice. Some people make a choice to be, like, for example, more materialistic. Other people are more in the heart and want the heart to evolve, to feel more love. The other one maybe wants just more money or more ambition or more competition or have a bigger job. So it doesn't always fit. Nothing is good or bad, but it just doesn't fit together.
So what is for you a purpose of a relationship? How do we need to feel in the perfect relationship?
Well, very much at ease, wanting to see each other always, a big faith in each other, and most of all, the feeling when you are together that it's wonderful.
Yeah.
You recognize it in the heart. You say, okay, it's so good to be with you. You know, I said to Mary, I said, you know, this moment that I have with you, it's making life worth being lived.
How cute is that?
And then you know it's so deep. Yeah, that's really deep.
So love shouldn't be a struggle in the end.
No, it shouldn't be a struggle.
Shouldn't be suffering.
No.
No.
There can be a little accident here and there, but
Yeah, you have to be happy.
yes, in general, there is no item, there is no questioning, there is no doubt. There's a lot of trust.
Yes, and you have to be also seen by your partner.
Yes, that's important.
Loved. Yes.
That you feel that there is a complement that fills in the love that you need. So if you like yourself, you like life, and life has to be enjoyed. And if you feel this enjoyment brought, I would not say by the other, but with the other, and it's also true in the opposite, then it's wonderful.
It's wonderful. So your partner should motivate you to become a better person and bring you.
Well, it's good what you say, because it's a mutual motivation that comes there in a totally spontaneous way. You're not
very
looking for it; it just happens.
Yes, so you're growing.
You're
He
growing.
helps you.
You're growing towards love in a spontaneous way,
Yes.
without effort. In fact, it just comes like in an energetic way.
Yes, and in your article you also mentioned something about suffering. So when we fall in love, we suffer. It's also due to some hormonal reactions. Can you elaborate more on that?
Well, these projections are directly linked to desire, and desire is a natural thing. And again, it's not bad, but it doesn't. It doesn't need to go out of hand. I mean that if it's too extreme, you don't control to relativate anymore. So nothing is bad in the hormonal situation because it feels good, and as you know, you release then good hormones like growth hormones, there is a hormone even like dopamine. They call it the joy hormone. So it's good, of course, nothing bad. But you just have to know how it works. So you can at each moment be conscious of the incredible gift that you have and that you receive, and see it as a gift of universe, not something to use with the ego.
But isn't it like a drug? You first get the good dopamine hormones and then suddenly you're down because your partner is not answering the phone, you're too scared to lose him.
Yes, it's only a drug if you permit by the consequences of your projection that the hormones go up and down, because it's like when you take a drug and then you need to stop with the drug, then you get addicted to the drug, you want it again.
Yeah.
But if you can stay in love really, but in love with real love, not only in love but also with real love, then the hormone level stays stable. See, but there is no down.
Yes.
It's only when you start projecting by fears, and you know that this can happen and maybe this, you know, I realized that if you have fear, you attract situations that confirm the fear. But if you are in faith, then just go for it. Just go spontaneously.
Yes. And a very interesting question that would interest a lot of single souls, I would say. How do you find your soul? What do you do?
Well, of course, like you also experienced, sometimes you find the soul to learn things.
Exactly.
And then it's learning by suffering. Suffering, in fact, is feedback. So like I often say, love is the only real power. Okay, if you allow it, then there is no problem. If you go into resistance, this resistance is like sending out a kind of information that attracts a person that will be the mirror for you to lose your resistance.
Yeah.
And so you can evolve by meeting different people, and in the end the purpose is to find the real one where there is no tensions. And what is needed to find the real one, that's the question. That is the absence of projection.
But you still need to know what you want.
If what you want is really like pure, like a good idea, it's wonderful. Universe will not be against that.
So there should be a certain level of detachment.
Of course. If you say, I want this and I really want this now, or I want this in that situation, or like for example, I want to be happy, but I'm only happy if I have a boat, for example. Well, of course, universe will say, well, what I have to do with this? How do I have to put a boat on this person? No? Like, how do I have to bring? Because it's very concrete and it's very demanding. But if you say, I feel that I can be happy because I discover in myself kind of inner peace, and this happiness, it will come, and maybe, why not a boat? Then the universe will say, well, maybe I will bring her a boat, but maybe something else, maybe a nice car, and she will also be happy. So the more you can release the definition, the more you open your mind, the more possibilities you have to receive.
Yes, but we also talked about the law of attraction, and that you need to first feel how you should be feeling once you will meet your soulmate, right?
Because that can be pure.
Yes.
The feeling that this is a nice feeling. No, God is against happiness, huh? So the universe just wants you to be happy, but it doesn't want you to give things that will make you capable of projecting wrong things or having misconceptions. You understand the difference?
Yes. Yes, but you first still need to feel how would it feel like. And I remember you asked me to, I remember your amazing meditation where you said close your eyes and just imagine you're with your soulmate. How do you feel? What is coming? And imagine how happy you are, what are you
Right.
doing, and this is the feeling that
Yes,
gets
yes,
attracted
because the
to you.
universe wants you to be happy, and if
Yeah.
you say, okay, this would be wonderful, then there is no reason why you should not have it.
Yeah.
But the way the universe will give it to you, that you cannot force.
Cannot force. Yes, you just have to have faith that it will come.
Yeah, that's why faith is so important.
Okay, super.
See?
Okay, super. Thank you very much. I
No, it
think,
was nice to talk.
yeah, it was very nice to talk to you.
See you next time
Yes.
for next item.
Yes. Super.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Nice.